Hello. Good.
Hello.
I was gonna say good evening or good afternoon, but it doesn't really matter. You can acceptable intro here. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, good night, good day, whatever you want to call it. Welcome back to episode 2 of the Per Pit Lane podcast. Mark, I think we're calling it now. Is that the working name?
Hang on, let me see if I get this right. Positive Perception Pitstop, I think we went with.
I thought it was the Pit Lanes podcast.
Oh.
Despite the fact it's technically not a podcast, as some people have pointed out to us, because we are the visual medium as well.
Well, I think we should roll with Positive Perception Pit Stop, because that's what it feels like. It feels like we're taking a break, we're having a bit of a chill out, we're just chatting away to you guys, even though you're not there live. We're doing this live, so you can enjoy it.
Yeah, enjoy this through your eyes and ears whenever you want to. Lots to talk about tonight. Should we kick off with probably what I would say is the biggest news that's come out of the sim racing industry? I know you're happy about this.
Happy?
So we've got...
Happy? That doesn't even begin to describe me at the moment.
I mean, there's probably no point really rambling on about it any longer than we have to. Let's open this up and have a look at the actual new content. So it's the brand new Mustang GT3 they brought out. We have the video kind of running in the background.
Hubba.
I don't know if we need to just kind of sit and listen to it first. Oh, stop.
It just you can hear the image. That's what you can do. You can just hear that image.
Do you know what I have noticed immediately though is that the audio mixing with where the car is on the track, knowing that's Brands Hatch, is so far off it's unreal.
Yeah, but look at it.
It also doesn't. It's free as well, which is great.
Don't forget, David, I got excited about this car when I heard they were making it last year. I said this is going to be a beauty, and it is. It's an absolute stunner. Absolutely gorgeous. Love it. And I've finally driven it this evening.
It is. It's an absolute beauty.
Yeah.
You can't say any fairer than that.
No.
It's a stunning car. It sounds great.
Yep.
I've driven it. I'm not a massive fan. It's a bit understeery and a bit too slidey. I'm sure it's something that you could tweak with setup work, but it just sounds really raw, doesn't it? It's great.
Yeah, it's that V8. Is it 5.2 litre supercharged V8? I mean, it's just it's what an American muscle car should be like. And now I'm not the biggest fan of Americans. We all know that I prefer the Australians with the V8s, but that sounds beautiful.
I mean, they're not too far dissimilar to each other, are they? Like, they're not inherently different between the North American and Australian counterparts, but
yeah,
I don't know. Do you know what it is? It's great that Kunos have sat there and gone, look, it's a brand new car.
Yep.
They probably could have done it in the Nords update, possibly. What was that? That was 1st of April, so it's been 5 weeks since then.
Yeah, I think
it feels like they could have done it, but
yeah, I think they were waiting for some race data to come in because it has been competing now. Finally, IMSA. It's done Paul Ricard as well. So, they've finally got a bit of real world data that they can use in the sim, because we know that the sim uses real world data. We fire up Motec, we use Motec, to get our suspension set up and tweak everything through that. So I think it's good that they've taken that little bit of time to produce an absolutely beautiful and refined product.
It is. I mean, thoughts. Again, you know this better than I do. You probably know the inside and outs of how every single one of these cars is meant to sound on some sort of audio scale. But there's been a lot of rumours going around that people believe they've just redesigned the Jaguar engine sounds. What's your thoughts on that?
I don't think so. I think that's actual sound that's been taken, via Ford Performance from their soundtrack that they have in their garage every single time they fire up the beast.
I suppose the only people who are going to know are Ford Performance themselves. I mean, Kunos will know as well. Sorry, let me just put that out there. But it'd be interesting to get their thoughts on it. Sadly, I don't think we're the heavy-hitting content creators that we might believe we are, and able to get someone from Ford Performance onto here to have a chat with them. But if anyone knows them, look.
I do remember. Do you not remember way back, TCX series? We had Aristoteles on when he was with Kunos. He was flying out to Italy to record the sounds for the 296, or he'd just come back from doing it. One of the two. So, they used, well, at least Aris used to go and physically record the sound data that they used in the game. I can't imagine anything would have changed. So I really hope they have done it this time as well.
Yeah, I mean, if anything, it just makes me want to see how they do that. I'm thinking of like big boom mics kind of all over the car, inside the cockpit, underneath the bonnet, like that. That's great. I want to do that job basically.
Think Top Gear, but making a game, maybe. I don't know.
Exactly.
I don't know. I could.
It's
I'll delve into my contacts for next time. Let's do that. I'll delve into my contact. I'll see what I can find out.
I mean, it's not like we've got someone in our Discord who works for a certain motorsport company who will soon be in manufacturing with Ford Motorsports come a certain 2026 season of some form of sport. We could probably check in with those.
Yeah.
That select individual, male or female, find out what they may or may not know.
Let's do it. Let's find out. I'll pop the question, and the next podcast, which is in inverted commas, obviously, we'll find out for you, the viewers, as I like to call it.
Yeah, let's figure that one out at some point soon. Right, we've rambled enough. Rambled enough for a little bit of that. Should we take a look at what happened in the GT3 race last week?
Oh my God, do we have to?
Yeah, we really do. We really, really do, because I am really looking forward to going through this because it's worked out very well in my favour. Let's get that on the screen. So here we go. So this is the highlights from a couple of weeks ago. Last week, sorry. Note a certain somebody in P8 on the screen. So it was a wet Paul Ricard, Mark. The first corner, you see Marcel stand there. He's been out of the game for a little while, but he wasn't the only person who kind of missed their breaking point, shall we say, going into the first couple of corners.
Yeah, to say we were disappointed it was wet was an understatement. However, the weather set by our own Ash Coupland, it was for this. He wanted us to have a wet race, and boy did it deliver. It was sopping.
Yeah, it was fantastic, and I have to say, and I won't do this anymore, but the wet weather helped me massively. Coming in last minute, no practice, my first proper lap was qualifying. It certainly helped me out big time. It didn't help everyone though, did it? I mean, drive-throughs galore, let's just say that.
What was it, Lisa? She got 4 or 5 drive-throughs, I think.
It was something like that. It was quite something. There's Joran Omlo. Oh, dear me, that's Rexy nearly coming into the side of him there. That was a little bit awkward. I don't think Joran did the full race. I don't think he was feeling 100%, if my memory serves me correctly, and that's him coming back on track.
He wasn't, and the Audi was biting him harder than the Honda was biting me, which is an unusual statement to actually make.
Yeah, it's not exactly what you want. It says there was an overtake between him and Dave Edwards there. I didn't see it, but much of it he went off. Here's Miles Dixon getting very slidey through the first couple of corners. Gary Dawson just behind him. Miles, really good display from him. I think he was hampered by a drive-through at the end, if my memory serves me correctly, but essentially just kind of carved through the field in true Miles Dixon fashion. I was in second at the end and was thinking, like, he's catching me here. I need something to go wrong, and then he got a drive-through, so it worked out quite well. Yeah,
he was absolutely flying through the pack. He's always said he likes the AMR, and he loved the AMR that time. As we see now, Joran with Anna Foster. Absolutely.
Coming up to... It's that kind of tight, twisty section, so difficult to get right, especially in the wet. I nearly lost it a few times going through there, but Joran, that's a grey hold there. Anna's presumably going to have the inside into the tight right-hander for the back straight. Yes, she is. She's going to prove the F1 style move and just push him out wide.
She's a savvy driver.
Like it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that was good driving, to be fair. Really, really solid. Here's Dan. I remember this one. I think this was contact between Luca and Dan into the final corner, because I'm fairly certain I tried to avoid it and ended up kind of working my way around it, shall we say. I think it was a very late kind of bit of an aggressive move from Luca. There you go. Sends it on the inside, catches him. Yeah, spun Luca. That was it.
And then, look at that positive perception car just trying to squeeze it in the gap, and still losing out to Daniel. You know.
I know it didn't happen for long though. Got past him eventually. It's Ranjan and Danny.
296 v 296. Love to see it.
Yeah, 296 versus 296 versus all the other 296s that were somewhere on track as well. Good move there from Ranjan. Oh, goes a bit deep. See, that's the problem. See Adam Bent doing the same thing. I don't know if you found this, but going through that long right-hander, if you went even the slightest bit wide, you were gone. You were
Yeah.
dragged all the way out, and you were absolutely stuck.
I was running a different line to everyone else. I was taking quite a tight line, which seemed to help me. As we see Colin in his favoured Lamborghini, and look who's behind him, Miles Dixon.
Yeah, we've certainly seen Colin find his form in the Lamborghini, haven't we? He's been really finding some pace in that car. I know we said this last time, but it reminds me of Peter Phillips and the Porsche. You find a car that works.
Yeah.
Things work out well, don't they, at the end of the day?
Yeah, no, everyone has their sort of favoured cars. I mean, Colin used to be, I'm only going to drive front-engine cars. But now he seems like he's an absolute weapon in a mid-engine car. But unbelievable pace.
Yeah, working out very nicely indeed. That was your anomaly. I was going to say, went very wide there. Gives Giovanni Speranza a chance to get through. He could have went wide. He overcorrected on the entry, and then it just dragged him wide. He had absolutely no chance getting away from it there.
I'd say there was a bit of aquaplaning involved there, offline, a bit of water. And there was a lot of water, let's be honest.
Yeah, it was very damp indeed. It was quite amusing hearing people in the Discord chat partway through the race going, has it gotten drier or wetter yet? And you're like, no, it's still the same. It's still the same horrendous weather we had 20 minutes ago.
Yeah, I think I was one of those. I think I was one of those going, I'm sure it feels like it's getting wetter. But it just wasn't. It was just constant.
Yeah, I think it was very static weather, to be fair. And I think it was one of those where if you got your tyre pressure wrong at the start of the race, you struggled the whole way through because there was no change in condition. I literally bolted on a load of a sample set of wet pressures and got very lucky in the sense mine were right in the window. But I don't think everyone was quite that fortunate.
As we see again, Miles Dixon. This was literally just, I'm going to drive through the pack. Where did he start? 20th? He was behind me.
It was somewhere kind of mid-pack, wasn't it? And there you go. She gets at the inside of Mark Cooper in one of the other many Ferraris.
The many Ferraris. I'm sure that's going to change. I'm sure if you go on LFM now, it's probably just a sea of Mustangs everywhere.
I don't know. We talked about this earlier. It's not that quick, I don't think. I'm just not convinced it's actually got that much pace.
But everyone's going to want to drive it.
They are, and that's the thing. And here's Alberto Usai. So he's trying what Luca Mari did try and failed. But is he going to make it stick there? That's really good racing from the two of them. And that's after Pixley went off.
That was so close to a bit of contact. How did they hold that together? Fair play. Kudos to you boys.
Yeah, supremely impressive. I think that actually is the battle for third.
I think
there you go. You can see it just updated as they went out of it. Here's you being overtaken by Mr. Dunn.
It's me.
Oh no, sorry, it's you overtaking Mr. Dunn. I apologise.
I have no idea how. Oh yes, now I remember.
Yeah, there you go.
Colin just got it slightly squirrely. He had to basically roll off the brakes, I believe, to make the car turn in, and that was it. I was just right. See you later, Honda power.
It is so easily done. It was so easy to do in that corner. It was that one, and I want to say it was the first corner. If you just went the slightest touch wide and got on the brakes, you just couldn't control the car. It was an absolute nightmare.
It was. I've just spotted 5th place drive through. We're only 12 laps in. That was quite early to get a drive through.
I think he got that on lap 10.
Oh wow!
From memory, he was one of a number of people in that kind of area that got a drive through, which significantly helped my progress in the race. Because I was sat there every time I got into a position, I'd be like, "Oh, someone's catching me." It's all Miles Dixon, that slidey. Every time they catch me and then they get a drive through, I'd be like, "Oh, cool." They clearly just don't want to overtake me. That's fine. Yeah. That works for me.
This is lap 13. That's a hell of a pack for lap 13. That's 1, 2, 3,
really
4 cars fighting over the same bit of tarmac.
Yeah. So who have we got? That's Colin, Kelsey, and then there's Colin go.
Does he hold it? Does he hold it? Does he hold it?
Oh, he did. I mean, he did well to stop it from hitting the wall. In fairness to him,
and a perfect example of it was going to be a perfect example of how to rejoin a race. Wait
until he did a little extra revolution for his troubles.
Just booted that V10. It's a V10, isn't it? In Lambo.
I think so. Yeah.
There we go. Miles Dixon on the straight. Clearly got a bit of a toe off the slightly slower 992. Now
that Aston Martin in a straight line was absolutely rapid.
It is.
I've never seen anything like it. I was going past people without even lifting, even breaking a sweat down that back straight. It was so quick.
Interesting. No team orders there for Onid.
Well, you say that, but he didn't make it. I mean, Dan didn't make it particularly difficult, did he?
No. As we see Adam Asailovic overtaking Simon Wilkes, who... Oh,
Just
there he is.
I was thinking, I was like, where is he then?
Yeah,
He's just come out of the pit lane with a stop go 30 as well, so that's adding insult to injury, you have to say.
Do you think that Simon could see on the Delta that Adam was getting closer and closer and closer and just clicked off the pit limiter just a fraction too soon there?
It is very, very possible, isn't it? I wouldn't have put it past him. Not in a bad way, but
No.
I just wouldn't put it past him doing that. There's Lewin going a little bit wide there. Or, sorry, going infield. Where's he gone? Where is he?
There he is. Gary
When could you
Dawson
miss him?
with the Boatley.
Yeah, in the Fry Guys motorsport car. So yeah, got a lot of owned guys coming in for this season. I know we mentioned this last time out, but it's really good to see some different people coming in, and that was the battle for the AM victory as well. So Gary getting into the lead of the AM class there. There's Simon Wilkes. Again, it says he's getting overtaken by Adam Bent. I imagine this is off the back of him serving his penalty.
I imagine
We'll
so.
find out in a second.
That's got to be Simon's penalty.
Yeah, there he is. That's Adam in the Aston Martin. Just gone.
That's
'Cause I think that was me. Yeah, that was me just in front of them as well. So
you and Mr. Pixley in Godzilla.
yeah, he was very quick, was Rich. Again, benefited from him getting a drive-through because he was supremely quick in that race.
As we see now, it's all the overtakes on the straight.
It seems like it.
Yeah, it's such a drag along that. How long is it? A kilometre and a half? Something stupid
It's
like that.
it's enormous. I couldn't possibly tell you how long it actually is, but it is pretty large. Long enough that I could actually eat quite a few biscuits if my memory serves me correctly.
Brilliant. I think that's where I was having a sip of drink actually. So yeah.
Yeah, sip a drink, quick check of the pit wall, check your fuel's all loaded properly, all that good stuff.
One. But yeah, that was an absolute textbook manoeuvre there. And I assume we're going to see it again with Antonio and Alberto.
Nice Italian there, very good accent.
That was not bad, eh? Not bad. I can
interesting to see. I mean, that's a lift. That is
a big
that is
lift.
100% a lift. I don't know if there's any relation between those two, but that was 100% not a... I wouldn't say it's an unfair move. It was a very fair move from Antonio Crescenzo, but I felt like I don't really know why he did that.
Yeah, maybe caught a bit of wet, tyres spun up. Maybe he was running a low traction control. Some of the guys were running quite low traction control compared to others. As we see, Adam Bent doing an overtake. Never.
Turning up and doing an overtake.
It is indeed Adam Bent doing an overtake. Blimey, how the boy has changed. Or is he going to get...
Oh, he did. Oh, he did. He got collected by Rob Bessent there. That was super close.
Yeah, fair play, boys. That was close.
I think you just saw Rob kind of escape to the left as he came through the corner, didn't you? You kind of just saw it. There's Rich Pixley with a drive-through. This is Miles Dixon going past Philip Staples, who was leading the championship coming into this one. I can't remember if he still is. We'll find out in a bit.
Yeah, we'll find out in a bit. This is classic again. It's on the straight. The power that you get from a draft is incredible on the straight here. This is lap 21, so it's taken Miles 21 laps to move basically near enough 20 spots. That's not, and that's flying.
That's the best part of, so if it's 20 laps, best part of 40 minutes, 45 minutes,
easily with the wet, if not
I think this was the point where I was starting to get a little bit worried because he was starting to close the gap. It went from like 8 to 6 seconds. I started thinking, oh no.
Yeah, another half an hour, Miles would have had you.
He wouldn't have done because he's got a drive-through, so I didn't have to worry about it. But
well, if he hadn't
have got the drive-through, yes, 100%, he would have definitely caught me. But luckily, that wasn't the case.
I tell you what, we're seeing a lot of Gary tonight. Good old Gary with Bentley.
Sounds like he was kept busy, working well in the rain. I say working well because Daniel Morris is about to take the position, I think, before the start-finish straight. Back straight. So that's impressive.
Team orders, both the same team. Maybe not. Who knows? If you're watching it, guys, can you tell us? Let us know. Send us a DM.
Let us know in the comments. No, not in the comments.
Sorry,
want that engagement. It's all about the algorithms.
I'm sorry, I forget about this.
Like, comment, and subscribe. All that good stuff. Here's Gary again with Owen this time. Although it's Owen overtaking Gary, I think. Is Gary going to go a little bit wide into the long right-hander?
Gary is indeed. Clearly,
and that's Ronaldo Lewin just behind him as well, which you've got to be careful of.
That is, they're so close together, those two, aren't they?
Yeah, very, very close indeed. This is last probably 5 laps, I think.
Yeah, Gary.
29 laps total.
Gary did try for the cutback there, but Owen just slammed that door shut.
Exactly that. Here we go. So here is Ronaldo Lewin with Gary Dawson again. So this is on the next lap. Is Gary going to do it again? He is. Be close and battle for the win. Oh, that's a good move. Ronaldo did really well to keep it really, really tight there. It's so easy to slide the car out and end up causing an incident, but did really well to avoid that from happening, which was quite impressive.
That definitely seems to be the bogey corner for Gary. He just doesn't. Maybe the Bentley's too heavy for it. It's just, you know, you're getting a lot of G going through there.
Washes wide, you might say.
Yeah,
no
that's
pun intended.
No, that is exactly it. Slips along the bathtub.
Absolutely. So this is apparently an overtake from Daniel Morris on Antonio Crescenzo. I think he's just in the background. The timing tower's not quite updated.
Oh no,
that's a Mercedes.
That was a Mercedes.
That was Jamie, I think.
Jamie Buchanan with the 2Cs motorsport car. Look at that beauty.
I wonder if we're about to see a classic Kunos. Here's an overtake, which isn't actually an overtake sort of thing. Yeah, we were. There we go.
Oh, a team driver. Blimey, we better talk about it. It's James Jackson.
And Gary again.
And Gary again. Look how small that McLaren looks behind the Bentley. Though. Look at that. James absolutely just got the draft off the final corner. Textbook.
Really clean move. Yeah, did all he needed to do. Kept it on the black stuff afterwards. Lovely move.
Yeah,
little bit
of a slide on corner exit at T1 there, but he absolutely held it.
Yeah, really, really nice indeed. Oh, Gary's going for the move, is he? Oh, that was close. That was a really good attempt by Gary, though, I have to say. Late, but just about on the line of being fair, I would say.
That was Anna Foster. Really opportunistic there. Just dived up the inside of Rob. I don't think Rob expected that one at all.
She got a really good run out of the second corner, didn't she? I mean, that's what benefited her massively.
Yeah.
Really, really good move.
Absolutely brilliant. Absolutely. She had a bit of a torrid race, did Anna. She was facing the wrong way at one point when I saw her. And yes, look at it. Look at it.
It looks like the 2Cs Motorsport Mercedes is about to make a move as he gets it. I mean, I can only assume, given the amount of closing speed there, that Giovanni Speranza's had a mistake onto the back straight because he went past him like he wasn't even there.
In fact, I've just spotted Jamie's actually running in the Ram Racing colours.
Oh, yes.
Now, I didn't design that one, but I do know one of the drivers.
Oh dear, you can't design them all, Mark. I'm afraid it's a shame, but you can't do them all.
I know. Here he is. We haven't seen him all race.
No, we saw him miss the first corner and then just disappear off into the distance.
Yeah.
Back after what's it been, about a year since Marcel was out? I think.
Around about a
last
year.
Race.
Yeah. The alien has landed again.
Clearly hasn't missed a trick because he's won the race by I think it was about 49 seconds in the end over yours truly.
Yes.
As you can see,
well
P2
done, David Wressell.
On the board there. It was my first race back at ACC for about 6 months, so I'm taking it. I'm going to run with it till the cows come home.
What I'm thinking here is I need to have a break. And
you need to go and try another sim.
I'm just going to go on LMU now religiously for the next year, and then eventually come back.
I think that's the right thing to do, mate. I mean, it seems to benefit me. It's worked quite well. Second in the overall class. I will absolutely
not bad.
I will say the rain has massively benefited me there. It has made my life infinitely easier by being wet. I feel like I can drop. I'm self-confessed. I'm not too bad in the wet. I can handle it. I know kind of where my limits are. If it was in the dry, no chance.
No,
absolutely no chance. Top 10 barely, I reckon.
I wanted the dry because the Honda on the straight is ballistic. So I was a bit worried when it rained, but the Honda, she did me proud. I maxed out the wings, just to cope, shall we say? And
did you an absolute solid? Yeah, you looked. That's all you can hope for at the end of the day. You just got to hope it goes relatively well.
Yeah, wet weather racing. It's never a favourite for anyone,
No, exactly.
I'll say it's quite rare we have a wet weather race actually. Occasionally we have a qualifying session. It'll be wet, then it'll be dry. I'm trying to remember if we had one in season 10 whether there was a wet race. Yes, round 1, Barcelona. It was supposed to be a dry race. It hammered it down. It was fantastic. Johnny Seville was on pole, and
what a surprise!
Johnny Seville won it actually. By about 15 million laps probably from P2. But that race was supposed to be dry. It was completely soaking wet. Again, it was an absolute classic of a race. That sort of thing. Wet weather racing, it just shows it shows up your inadequacies sometimes. It shows up, if you can't control the car in a certain way, if you're too aggressive on the throttle, too aggressive with your steering, because those mistakes will treble on track. You'll have a car that's maybe slightly oversteering, and you think, yeah, this is great, this is what I want the car to react, I want it to get into the corner. But that oversteery car in the wet now becomes a too oversteery car in the wet, and suddenly you're doing donuts.
It's it's like everybody says, it is the ultimate equalizer.
It really is. Yeah, absolutely.
I've seen it so many times, and I've seen it in races like that where, like you say, you can have little to no practice, but if you're relatively confident in weather like that, then you can push the car further. And it's one of those things where you kind of are almost exploring the track every single lap. Even in that race, I think we said while we were looking at the highlights, the what's the word I'm looking for? The track kind of status, the weather.
Yep.
I don't think it changed at all.
No, it didn't.
It's just about trying to find the best lines through it. Sometimes it isn't the ideal line. You've got to mix it up a little bit. So
yeah,
it definitely brings out that extra level as you don't always get when it's dry.
100%. Yeah.
Shall we have a look and see what that's done to the standings?
I feel we should. We're only 2 rounds in, remember, boys and girls. So there's going to be a lot to change, but fire them up.
Absolutely. Let's look at AM first. Let's go AM Silver Pro. Let's do it in that order.
Love it.
I think so. I'm not going to do the whole bottom to top because I'm terrible at reading backwards. But Costas Bavudas, top of the AM Championship. Good start for him. I think it was a first in race 1 and a second or third or something in the last race. So that obviously gives him a decent haul of points. Giorgio Donini and Opal level of points. I know it's only 2 rounds, but impressive to do that after the first couple of rounds. Has to be said. David Edwards,
really good.
Good display, really good display in Paul Ricard. I think he won't mind me saying, probably wasn't the quickest in the world, but ultimately, I think we just said it, didn't we? When you're in that position on a wet track, sometimes the best thing to do is actually just take it easy and just get the points on, and that's exactly what he did there.
Yeah, David's learning his craft with ACC for sure. He's getting more consistent each round. He is one of the drivers that's joined us literally this year. This is his first real championship to race in, other than he did do the KA series. So this is his first GT championship, and he's doing fantastically.
Yeah, sometimes you just need a bit of time just to get it, edge it a little bit.
Yeah.
Find your feet, and then you can go for after that. And I'm sure that will happen in the seasons to come. 2 points behind him, Ronaldo Luan. Saw a lot of him in that race. I think he won the race in the end, so good result from him. Gary Dawson, we saw, I'd argue maybe too much of Gary, to be honest. But that probably suggests he had quite a fun race. 30 points. The score for him, 6th place. Jamie Buchanan on 26, Adam Bent on 24. I think that was a 3rd in class for him, which was impressive.
Yeah.
And then Freddie Coleman Evans and Michael de Groot rounding out the top 10. Michael and Freddie didn't partake at Paul Ricard, I don't think, so that's just their points from round 1, if my memory serves me correctly.
That is indeed. Well done. Well remembered.
See, all up here. I know I've just put it in my head as if everyone could see me, but they can't. Now this is interesting. So this is the one thing I really wanted to pick out on. So you can see there Alberto Usai and Mark Cooper joint top.
That's mad.
It's not a case of. It's actually. I thought it was a case of they just matched the results to round 1 and round 2. So she's got the opposite results. They're actually completely different.
Oh
which
wow!
Made it even more impressive that they've actually leveled it. I think it was a 6th in class in one race for Mark and a 5th for Alberto, and then a 2nd and a 1st or something like that. I can't remember what it was, but it was. I remember seeing it and thinking, wow, getting people on the same amount of points is impressive enough. Getting it from 2 completely different sets of results, I thought was quite impressive.
That's super impressive, and you've even got 3rd and 4th there, Ranj and Steve.
Well, I mean, look at 3rd through 7th. You get 3 points. Again, we're 2 rounds in, but Ranj, Steve, Anna, Giovanni, and Owen all within 3 points of each other.
Yep.
The silver class is spicy. To be said.
Even towards the back end of that top 10, you got Dexter, you got Colin, you got Robert. 1 point separating between them, each of them. Whatever the phrase is.
I mean, put it
2
this way,
points between them.
It's 8 points between 3rd and 10th.
Yeah,
that's the way you look at it, isn't it? Which is seriously close, and certainly sets us up really nicely for the remaining 4 rounds of the season, which is going to be really interesting to see how they play out.
Yeah.
And then,
brilliant.
Top of this one hurt me to do because I've got the same amount of points as P10, but I'm not on it.
Brilliant.
Just the way that it's the way that it lined out, which is a bit of a shame.
I'm just going to screenshot this for prosperity.
Yeah, it was a bit of a shame. You got 2 more points than me, but let's swiftly move on from there. So Philip Staples, top of the charts of 44 points. Again, 2 more drivers on the same amount of points. Adam Misalovic and Rich Pixley on 39. Antonio Crescenzo a point back from them in P4. So again, really close for the battle for P2 at the moment. Luca Mari and Simone Giuffrida both on both a point between them, I should say, in 5th and 6th, 32 and 33. Angus Fender and Marcel Stange on 30 points because they've both taken part in one race and have both won one race.
And Angus will be back for the next round at Imola.
He will. I think he's at Paul Ricard this week. Have I got that right? He's away somewhere. I can't remember where he is, but I know he's away not racing.
Yeah, I think he's back for Ginettas. Not entirely 100% sure. I'd have to double check.
We'll come on to the Ginettas in a second, won't we? And then yours truly, Mr. Mark Raddenbury, P9.
You're welcome, fans.
Mr. I'm not good enough to be in pro, and then still in the top 10 of the pro category after 2 races.
I don't know how I do
see it. I think you have this ability to just. You're very. If I was going to say you're very similar to a certain Formula 1 driver, which I won't do because that's not fair because he's not very good at all. But you've got this ability to very much go under the radar and just appear in the points, kind of almost consistently.
Yeah.
And I think it the way I would explain it is that you do what everyone probably should do, which is no matter how badly something goes, you just plug it out because you get points in our series.
That's the way.
Pretty much the entire way through.
That's the way you got to do it. Keep on trucking.
Exactly. Especially in your Honda, eh? That's certainly a truck in your hands, but let's say no more about that.
Yeah. I mean, despite the mentions of me, oh my God, you're going to switch to the Mustang, it's come out. I'm staying in the Honda.
Yeah, but we know why you're... I'm not going to go into this because I don't want to gaslight you, but we know why you're staying in the Honda. And it's not because you don't want to use the Mustang. Let's just leave it at that.
I do want to use the Mustang. I dearly want to use the Mustang. However, I'm going on holiday at the weekend and I don't have any time to practice for Imola. So I'd have to learn a completely different set of driving, which I just don't have the time to do.
Do you think you could? Do you think you would like it even less if you realised that it would put you far below me on points as well?
I mean, yeah. So I'll stick with the Honda now. I've made my bed. I'll sit in it.
Good plan. Right. Next round, GT3 is, as you've mentioned, Imola.
It is.
As we record this, a week and 8 days time.
It is
16th of May. Stop for fuel and tyres. It's going to be interesting. It's basically going to be one of those where I think most people are probably just going to cut the race in half. Do you think?
I think 90% of people will cut the race in half. There will be some outliers, that will go maybe a bit longer, so they've got fresher tyres to do battle with at the end. And the flip side of that, there'll also be people who will take a really light fuel load and use up their tyres, in the first 15, 20 minutes, something like that. And then, have to sit with quite a heavy car and try and nurse the tyres a bit more, but in the hope that they've gained a load of positions. I think strategy-wise, it's going to be really interesting.
Yeah, we're definitely looking forward to seeing how that plays out. I'm looking forward to getting back in the car again. I'm looking forward to doing absolutely no practice until 6 p.m. on the 16th of May. If that, because I think I'm out that day, so I might be even later as I was Paul Ricard, but we'll see how we get on. But I like Imola. Imola is a track that I very much enjoy. Have raced well there in the past in the Aston Martin, so hopefully get another decent result. As long as I don't get any drive-throughs anyway.
Yeah, please don't. No, actually, sorry. Please do.
Please do. Yeah, I was going to say you want me to get them. That's exactly what you want to happen.
I do.
So GT4. Let's have a quick look at that.
Yeah, we're at Zandvoort tomorrow. We're in the dunes. We're in the sand.
I was going to say this is very much your bag, isn't it? I don't know. I'm not taking part in this one because I don't like the Ginetta. Personal preference, not a fan.
The first 2 rounds that we had were absolute firecrackers around. I don't think I've sweated so much and worked so hard in a GT4. I mean, it was nose to tail, both races that were 25 minutes long. and it was nose to tail, and we were in the teens. You know, we weren't fighting for the top 10 or anything. Absolutely insane. So hopefully we'll see more of the same with the 45-minute race we've got at Zandvoort. No pit stops, so, you know, lights to flag. However, success ballast has been applied. We have Angus fender on the maximum ballast, and also with a 10% restrictor. That's going to slow him down a bit.
It's going to be very tough. Very tough indeed.
And the rest of the top three, whose names have completely escaped. James White, that's another one. James White has a 10 kilograms of ballast. He has a 5% restrictor. So he'll be a touch slower. You know, maybe he'll bring him closer to Angus. And the third place guy from the races was Mr. Pixley. He is on 5 kilograms of ballast, something like that. Maybe 2 kilograms, not a lot.
I mean, you know it better than I do. It's just going to be interesting to see how that impacts them. I mean, the Ginetta's a light car, so you'd really like to think, or you'd assume to think, it's going to impact them more than it would any other car, really.
Yeah, massively. And I really think it will bring the pack closer together.
It certainly will. Well, we'll have to wait and see. Well, I was going to say, again, as we record it, it'll be tomorrow night. So
it will be, yeah.
We'll wait to see. We'll debrief on that after this in a couple of weeks' time, I'm sure.
100%.
One last thing to talk about, and that is a few liveries that have been done over the last week or so.
Yeah.
I am, as I say this, going to be fiddling with the with this particular slideshow, because I've just realised that you sent me more liveries that I haven't loaded into here. So let me just talk amongst yourselves, boys and girls, just while we fix that up. That'll be fine.
Shall I talk about this livery and why this livery is on your screen?
Yeah, you go. You're the man behind all of these. I'll let you carry right on.
So the 24-hour race at Silverstone we got coming up for the Christie Foundation. Every 24-hour event we do, we always run a special edition livery as a team. Now, we always take inspiration from the real world for this. Last year at Spa, we ran a split down the middle livery. One half was a Bathurst winner, one half was a Spa winner, and we had that on both the BMWs. This time around, obviously, we've got an Aston Martin GT4, and we've got the Ferrari 296. This particular livery was featured in 2013 on a Ferrari. Now, try finding a Ferrari livery that's not blooming red, I tell you. Absolute nightmare. I found this. I sent it to Mr. Dunn, and instantly he was in love. So, of course, we had to plonk it on the 296. And my word, does it suit that car. It looks absolutely stunning in that Ferrari yellow. Bit of black going across the top there. Just, magnifique.
It does look.
That's not very even Italian.
It looks very, very nice indeed. Should we have a look at the other one that you've done? Let's see if we can get to the end of this one as well. Let's go to this bad boy. Let's get that one going.
So this was 6 hours it took me. It is not an exact one-to-one replica of the 2014
that's disappointing.
Aston Martin 2014. I want to say 2014. I might be completely wrong. Somebody will correct me in the comments down below. Now, obviously, the original livery appeared on a GT3 Aston Martin, so converting it onto the slightly smaller GT4 was a challenge, but I think you'll agree I have nailed it. It is an absolute beauty. I'm driving this one. I can't wait to hop into this one. In fact, I can't wait to spectate this one go around the track with my other team drivers.
She is an absolute beauty.
It's a stunner.
Has to be said.
We will be releasing both these cars, as liveries you can buy. Well, we say buy. You're donating to the charity. 100% of the profits of these cars, after the event, will go up on a platform of our choosing, probably Grid Finder with their brand new livery tool, and you'll be able to download it for a price. That price will go automatically to the Christie Foundation.
Yeah, really, really nice touch indeed. I think we've got one more clip of that one. Weirdly, that's come out in a slightly weird resolution, but that's fine. The final one is another one that you've done, and you've done it literally this evening.
I did.
When it eventually decides to come up. It'll be the next one, actually. Let's just skip past that one. There it is.
Funny enough, the guy has just sent me a message saying, "Oh my, look at it, boys and girls! Look at the beast. The beast has roared."
It was so late onto the production line that I only added it in whilst this scene was playing a moment ago.
Fantastic.
That's how late I've just received it, even though you technically sent it to me before we started recording. But let's just ignore that bit.
Look at it. I'm not even going to tell you who this livery is for. The boys and girls are going to have to guess in the comments. But I will say I'm assuming driver.
I was going to say, I'm assuming said boy or girl can't guess themselves as to who drives that car, because that seems a little bit unfair.
Yeah, no, if they guess themselves, they're going to get a ballast penalty. But it's a bit of a rip from a classic Ford GT livery, the GT40, with the what we now call Viper stripes going down it, but also the classic stripes along the line. The original car was just pure black with white. Obviously, I had to positive perception it up a bit. We've got a bit of a distressed effect pattern going on the stripes. The base layering of it is our usual esports team design. You'll notice I've sowed the seed there to get the team car done quickly as well. To me, it's just a nice, simple livery, but boy, does it stand out. It looks absolutely gorgeous.
It's an absolute beauty, if I may say so myself, even though you're the one who did it.
I am. And what a track to drive it around.
Absolutely.
Coach
I'm sure you probably got 4 track limit drive-through penalties during your time getting the pictures ready.
I don't want to talk about it.
Right.
Let's just say turn 1, I was a little bit backwards on the entry.
It's a car that you can drift. I speak from experience.
Yeah, and everyone knows my thoughts about drifting. It's a bit of a waste of horsepower, but I can have some fun with that, I think.
Yeah, no, you're not far wrong. It's good fun, if not a little bit slower at the moment. I'm sure we'll see it. I'll sure see everything else nerfed or that kind of buffed to level things out. But anyway, there we are. That's another episode in the books.
Another one done. Thank you. Thank you everyone for watching. Yeah.
Big thank you to everyone who works with us. So big thank you to you can see them cycling around the screens. So Dun Motorsport, Spark RC, Gridfinder, Lovely Sim Racing, KCM, and probably a lot of other ones that I've forgotten as well. I'm so sorry. But trying to remember all those names is quite tough at the best of times. We'll be back in Mark, a couple of weeks? Same time, 2 weeks from now?
Yes, 2 weeks time. We'll revisit.
Yeah. As always, this is an evolving beast. We hope that it will become better every single episode, so please leave your feedback and stuff in the comments, drop us a DM on Discord, all that kind of good stuff. And if you haven't seen it before and you like what you see, thumbs up on there, click the subscribe button, all that kind of fun stuff that keeps everything going. These are really good fun. It's nice to do something a little bit different, isn't it, Mark?
Yeah.
It's good fun to get your
fantastic.
feedback on it as well.
It's always nice to see your face.
Well, even my partner doesn't say that, so God knows why you are.
All right. And in fact, before we end, David, congratulations. David has now officially almost halfway there to making an honest woman of Holly. So congratulations, David.
Thank you. Yeah, getting engaged was not on. Well, it was on the list of things to do this weekend. So very pleased for it to finally be the case.
I love that you've made a list. It's fantastic.
Well, it was. Yeah, what was it? It was get in the hot tub multiple times, get engaged, have some nice food and drink. All that kind of good stuff.
Beautiful,
so
perfect.
It was obviously top of the list. If case Holly watched,
yeah, of course, yeah.
Save that bullet. Dodge that bullet. Boys and girls, thank you so much for watching. If you've enjoyed it, hit the like button, subscribe if you want to see more of this, and we'll see you in a couple of weeks. Have a wonderful rest of your evening, day, morning, afternoon, night.
Whatever.
And we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.
Toodaloo.